Hello guys, in this video we will learn how to implement Holt-Winters multiplicative method in MS Excel. Holt-Winters multiplicative method is the part of triple exponential smoothing. As we know, in time series there are different ways to find the forecasting. First is moving average, then second one is regression method, and then third one is exponential smoothing method, and fourth one is simulation method that I have discussed in the earlier video. This exponential smoothing method has three types: single exponential smoothing, double exponential smoothing, and triple exponential smoothing. In single exponential smoothing, there is no trend or no seasonality. Only level data or base data is available. In double exponential smoothing, level data, that is base data, and trends data, these two factors are available. In triple exponential smoothing, there are three different smoothing constants. First is for level, and two more smoothing constants are used, that is called trends and seasonality. So in triple exponential smoothing method, there are three different smoothing constants. First is called alpha, second beta, third gamma. Alpha is used for base or level data, while trend is used, beta is used for trend data, and gamma is used for seasonality component. And this triple exponential smoothing method has implemented in Holt-Winters method. This Holt-Winters methods are divided into two different parts: Holt-Winters additive methods and Holt-Winters multiplicative method. Here I have discussed only Holt-Winters multiplicative method. For this I have taken some data, and that data is shown here. In first column I have shown the years. There are different years: 2014, 2015 from January to December, 2016 from January to December, and 2017 from January to September. In first column I have shown year, in second column I have shown the month of that year, and in third column I have shown the period, and it is denoted by small t. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and so on. Since I have taken monthly data, so there are 12 different months in a year. So in one year there are 12 different periods, and for next period there are again 12 periods, and that is shown in increasing order. After 12 it is 13, 14 and so. For third year it is 25, then 36, 25 to 36, and in fourth year it is 37 to onwards. So this third column shows the period, and in fourth column I have taken actual demand in that month. In January, this is denoted by period 1. The demand of some particular item is 331, and in other months the demand is shown in the fourth column. Here I have taken fifth column, and this fifth column is the label, that is also known as base. So this label will be calculated by using this formula: LT equal to alpha AT by ST minus K, 1 minus alpha LT minus 1 plus T minus 1. All these components are discussed in the earlier, so I am not going to discuss in detail about them. Only I will explain the formula, how we will implement these formula on our data in Excel sheet. You can also use other software like Python or other tools in which you can apply this concept. For simplicity, and since Excel is available to everyone, other softwares are licensed software, you have to purchase that software. So since it is available to everyone, so I have used Excel software to demonstrate this. LT is the label, and it is also known as a base trend. Then next column, I mean sixth column, that is denoted by capital F. Sixth column is the trend data, and in trend data we will use this formula to find this value, and third component, that is called seasonality component. And for seasonality I have used ST, and this ST is calculated by this formula. Then in last column I have used the forecasting. Since it is of 12 periods, so the value of K at this place will be equal to 12. The value of K equal to 12, and T denotes the period value. So for the first column, T is 1 and K is 12. If we find the value of T minus K, that is 1 minus 12, and it is negative 11. But that data is not 11 previous value, so we will initialize this first row by some value. The level value or base value for this column is taken as the demand of that month. To find the demand or to store the demand in this column, we will use formula. I think you know how to use the Excel sheet to find the value. To find or to implement the formula, we always use equal sign. So I have put here equal sign, and if we want to store this value, then we will click this cell. This value will be stored in this cell. Okay, and the trend data for the first month or first period, the trend data is not available, so I initialize it by 0. Then press enter, and seasonal data is again not available, because in seasonal data we have used ST minus K, and T is 1 and K is 12. 1 minus 12, that is minus 11, that is not available, so we assume here the value of 1 and then press enter. So for first row I have initialized like this: LT equal to 81 and TT is 0 and ST. This is the initialization value for the first period only. For the next period, I mean for February 2014, we will apply this formula, but for this February we will again unable to find the value of ST minus K, because for second column the value of T is 2. The value of T is 2 and the value of K is 12. So 2 minus 12, that is minus 10. and this data is not available, so we will assume here that st minus k is equal to s1. So in this cell we will apply this formula, and in this formula we take the value of alpha. Alpha is assumed 0.1, beta is assumed 0.2, and gamma is assumed 0.3, and this value is stored in the cell b1. In b1 the value of alpha is 0.1, and in b2 the value of beta is 0.2, and the value of gamma in b3 is 0.3. So whenever we require the value of alpha, we will use this b1 cell, and this b1 will be denoted here or shown here in Excel. This is b2, that is shown here, and this is b3. So in this cell we will apply this formula E6 equal to $B $1. First we write the formula equal sign, then this alpha value, alpha is 0.1, so write here 0.1, that is b1, and then it is multiplied with 80 by s1. 80, that is a2, here t is 2, so 80 denotes a2, and a2 is this 499. So I click this cell, then we get the cell number or cell name, that is D, column number D, and row number 6, that is D6. D6, and then we divide it by S1. S1 is the G column, so this value is S1 period for period 1. This is the value, so I click here, then we close the bracket. Then I have used 1 minus alpha, 1 minus alpha plus 1 minus alpha, so I put here plus, then opening bracket, 1 minus the value of alpha. The value of alpha is in b1, this is b1, so I click here, and then we close this bracket, and after that we multiply. So put here multiplication sign, start, then again open the bracket, and at this place we put the value of LT minus 1. T is 2 and 1. 2 minus 1, that is L1, and L1 is this value. So we click here, and then we enter plus. E5 is the LT minus 1. Again for this column or for this row the T value is 2, so 2 minus 1, that is T1, and T1 is nothing but this F5 value. F5 is the T1. So we click here, and then we close the bracket. It will calculate the value of label data, that is also known as a base data. And in this case we will apply this b1 for each formula. The value is same, so we make this cell absolute, and to make absolute we press F4. F4 is the function key on the keyboard, so we place F4, then it will be converted $B $1. Again at this place alpha is fixed because it is not changeable in the formula, so we make it absolute cell, and to make absolute cell we press F4 function key. F4 function key, then it becomes absolute formula, and after that we press enter. It will give us the value of LT for period 2. Similarly, in this formula, the value of t is 2, and to find the trend value, we will use this formula. And in this formula, the first value is beta. And to put any formula in any cell, we first press equal sign. So we press here equal sign, then we enter the value of beta, and the value of beta is stored in B2. So we click this B2, and we get the value of B2, that is beta. And to make it absolute, we press F4. Then it is multiplied with LT minus 1. So we put here multiplication sign star, then opening bracket. After that, LT, T is at this place, T is 2, so we need L2. L2 is nothing but this cell. So we click this cell and then put negative sign. So type here, here type we type here negative sign. Then we need LT minus 1. T is 2, so 2 minus 1, that is L1, and L1 is this value, E, column E, row 5. This one is the L1. So we click this value and close the bracket. Then we need 1 minus beta. So first we put plus sign, then opening bracket, then 1, again put negative sign, then beta value. Beta value is the B2. So we click this B2 cell. Then make it absolute. To make it absolute, we press F4. Then close the bracket. And after that, we put multiplication sign, and then we multiply this formula with t minus 1. Here t is 2, so 2 minus 1, that is t1, and t1 is nothing but this value, F5. F5, this cell is known as a F5. So we click this value and press enter. We get 3.360, the trend value. Then we try to find the seasonal value. To find the seasonal value, we will apply this third formula. And in this third formula, we put equal sign to enter the formula. In Excel, we always put equal sign whenever we enter any formula in that cell. So to enter the formula, we always use equal sign. Equal sign, then the value of this gamma, and gamma is stored in B3. So we click this B3, and to make it absolute, we press F4 key. Then multiply it by 80 by LT. So I put here multiplication sign, then opening bracket, and 80. For this t is 2, so 80 denotes A2, and A2 is nothing but this cell D6. So I click here and then divide it by LT. LT is L2, and L2 is this cell E6. So I click this E6. Then we put closing bracket. Then we multiply, put here multiplication symbol. Then at this place, actual formula is ST minus K, but this data is not available because T is 2 and K is 12. So 2 minus 12, that is minus 10, and it is not available previous value. So we will assume ST minus K is equal to S1, and this S1 will be used for first cycle, I mean for whole 2014. So I put here S1, and S1 is nothing but this value. 1.00, that is G5. So I click this cell and press enter, and we have to make it again absolute, so we press F4 because this S1 is fixed for the first 12 months, so I make it absolute. So we get 0.430, and there is one change more in this formula. We have to make G5 absolute, so we press F4. Thus now it is complete, and for the next period we again apply this formula. So I have written here, copy E6. We copy this formula to first year, I mean for 2014. So I copy it, and we copy this formula, and we will copy this formula in March to December 2014. For first cycle, we will use these three formula to find the LT, TT and ST. So this formula will be copied into March to December 2014, and again this formula will be copied into March to December for 2014, and this formula is again copied into March to December. So we make it copy 3 cells, and we put all these value in this March to December. It will calculate the value. So we paste this formula and we get the values for the all other period from 3 to 12 period. Now we can forecast the value for 2015 in January 2015. Now we can calculate forecast value for first cycle, I mean for 2014. We cannot calculate the forecast value. So in this year I have used two initial value or two changes. First row is initialized by this rule, step 2, and from February to December I have used this formula. This LT is entered in E6, and this TT is entered into F6, and this ST is entered into G6. When we copy this formula, the other value will be automatically changed. For example, if we click this third period, we will see here, this is the alpha value, this is the D7 I mean this actual demand, this is actual demand. 80 means for this third period 80 is A3, and this one is the A3 716, and this 716 is nothing but the column D and row 7, that is D7. It is shown here, and then we divide it by S1 because S1 is fixed for the first 12 period, and after that we will apply the actual formula, this one. So whenever the cell is changed by the formula, then we use relative method to represent the cell, and whenever the value is fixed for the all other values, then we make it absolute value, and for absolute referencing we use F4 function key to make it absolute, and without dollar the formula is relative formula, D7. If you have any problem in relative addressing or absolute addressing, then you can see the Excel concept to know what is the meaning of absolute addressing and relative addressing. In relative addressing, the value will be automatically changed. If we copy this formula here, D6 denote this 80, and if we copy this formula in March at this place, then this relative value will be automatically changed from D6 to D7. So this is the beauty of relative addressing. But the beta value is fixed or alpha value is fixed, so I have make it absolute. Due to absolute addressing, the value remains same. So the value of alpha from January to December will be same, and for that purpose I make it absolute. And similarly, the value of S1, I mean in level data, this is make S1, and this S1 is fixed for this 12 period, so I have made this S1 absolute. In this formula, this G5 is S1, G5, this G5 is S1, and to make it fixed, we make it we show it in absolute addressing mode. So I have put here F4 function key. Similarly, in third formula, seasonality, this ST minus K is not available, so we fixed here S1 for this first 12 period. After that, we will apply this formula. So in this formula, if we copy this formula in this cell, then this formula is denoted in this formula bar, and at this place for this cell I mean E17, for E17 we will use this concept, and at this place the T minus 1 is available. The value of alpha is in B1, so this is $B$1 into 80. Here T is 13, so 80 means A13 is nothing but this value, and this is D17, so you can see here it is D17, so it denotes 80. Then ST minus K, now T is 13 and K is 12, so 13 minus 12, that is 1. So we will put here S1, and this S1 is nothing but G5. Now this formula will be copied into this cell, and in this cell the value of G5 automatically increased to G6 for 14th period. So we will make it absolute relative, and to make it relative, we again press F4, $1 cancel, we again press F4, then second dollar cancel, and we again press 3 times, we press it, so the absolute nature of this cell cancelled forever, and now it becomes a relative address. So we press here enter. Other things are same. This is G5, that is S1, that is calculated by this formula. Then plus, this is plus sign. 1 minus alpha, this is 1, and alpha is B1, and it is constant value for all the LT values for each year 2014 to 2017. So we make it absolute. Then multiply it by LT minus 1. LT minus 1 for this 13th period. LT minus 1 is this value, and this value is E16, and it is denoted by green color, and this is denoted by LT16. You can see here, sorry, ET16, E16, and this T minus 1 is this value, that is F 16 and it is denoted here. So we press enter, it will calculate the base value for the January 2015. Similarly, if we can copy this formula into this cell, paste here, copy, then paste this formula at this place, it will calculate the trend value. And in this formula there is no change because this second formula is common for all the values. This type of problem is not present in the trend formula. So if we copy this formula, this will show the second formula and the value is automatically converted in the appropriate cell due to this relative address. Again, this value is copied into the next cell, Control B to copy it, and we have to change some value in this formula because in third formula we have to use ST minus K from the January 2015 and from January to December we have to use this S1 value. So this value is represented in absolute method, so we will change it into relative mode. To change it relative mode, we click this cell and go to the formula bar. In formula bar, $B $3 represent the gamma value. Alpha beta, the value of alpha beta gamma will remain same for the all period for each year. So it is always in absolute addressing mode. So this is $B3 is the value of this gamma, and then AT means A13 is D17. You can see here it is already D17 and divided it by LT. LT is this E17 and E17 it is present in the formula for this cell. And next value is absolute, in absolute method G5, that is this one is absolute, so we make it relative. To make it relative, we click here and press F4 3 times. 1 2 3. Now this G5 denotes, since T is 13 and K is 12, so 13 minus 12 equal to S1, and S1 is this G5, and now this G5 is in relative mode. So we press here enter. Now we here I have calculated the base value, trend value and seasonal value for the January 2015. Now from this place we can find the forecast value for the January 2015. To find the value of forecast for 2015, we will apply this fourth formula. In this fourth formula, the value of H is assumed to be 1. So this value is the value of January forecast of January 2015. So we will use LT minus 1. To enter the formula, we will first press equal sign in this cell, then we need FT, I mean this 13, and this 13 minus 1 is equal to 12. 13 minus 1 equal to 12, that is L12. L12, this period is 12, L12 is this value. So we press here and we get the formula E16. This E16 is the value of LT minus 1. H is 1, so T minus K. T minus 1. T minus 1, 13 minus 1, that is 12. And the T value 12 is this one. So we click here and first click this, then press plus sign for this value, plus sign, sorry, we will enter the fourth formula in this cell. So first we press equal, and then LT minus 1, T is 13, 13 minus 1, T is 13, 13 minus 1, that is 12. So we required L12, and this L12 is nothing but this E16. So we press this E16, then first enter opening bracket, then E16, then press or enter plus sign, then H is 1, so T 13 minus 1, that is T12, and this one is the T12, that is F16. So we press here and we close the bracket. Then we need multiplication sign, so we put here star for multiplication. Then we have to enter T is 13 and minus K is 12. 13 minus 12, that is S1, and the value of S1 is this G5. So we click here G5 and press enter. Now the forecasting value is 856.14. If we copy this 4 column values in other period of 2015, then it will give the actual value from February to December. Control V to copy it. Sorry, first copy it, then put the value from 2015 February to 2000 December 2015. Control B. Now this value is calculated. It is the forecast value for the January 2000 on the base of previous year, and this is the forecast for February for the on the basis of previous year. So the forecast or other values for 2015 based on this 2014. Now if we want to calculate the value of 2016, then we have to initialize 2015 by using these steps. First we have to initialize this 2015 with LT equal to this value. Then in TT we assume 00, ST 1.0, and for other value we have to take S1 in place of ST minus K, and at this place again S1 in place of ST minus K. Then we have to copy this formula, and we have to enter these 3 formula in these 3 cells, and after calculating these value we can forecast the other period of 2016. And after calculating 2016 we again initialize 2016, and on that basis we will calculate the forecast or other values for 2017. If we copy this formula, then it will give the result, but that result is not much accurate. To find the accurate value we have to repeat this formula. The formula of 2014 will be repeated for 2015, and on the basis of 2015 we calculate the value of 2016. Similarly, to find the 2017, we initialize 2016 with the help of this formula 3, 4, 5, 6, and for next value we will calculate it. But for presentation, I copy this formula for other cell. It will give some random value or it is not accurate. It will calculate this value. This sign shows the value, so it shows very random value, that is absurd, so we will delete it. First we have to initialize this, then we will calculate it. So you can see here the forecast value, actual demand is 606, but forecast value is 856. It is over, it is under forecasting. Actual demand minus forecasting, that is negative value, so negative values shows the over forecasting. In this case again there is a under forecasting, at this place over forecasting, in this place under forecasting, at this place over forecasting. So it is sometimes it is over forecast and sometimes it is under forecast, so it is good presentation of forecasting for on the basis of previous given data 2014. So all about these are the Holt Winters multiplicative method. To understand, use this video 1 or 2 times, then you will understand the concept how to calculate the forecast or other values or other smoothing values for the Holt Winters multiplicative methods. Okay, thank you.